Alright, some more Javid showcase. Now, if you've noticed, he is level 60 now because I rewind him. Yeah, if you're wondering if he's worth level 70 or not, he's not. But yeah, in this video, I'm going to showcase the buff Javid in Dark Starlight Team 1 because in my previous video, I said he can permacycle and he might be on par with R6 Moryama. But after a few testing, he's not even close to Moryama. So first off, I'm going to show you what Moryama can get in Dark Starlight Team 1 if you do have him at level 70 and R6. So it can go upwards of 350 to 400 million damage in Team 1 alone, right? And again, the reason why Moryama is very good in Dark Starlight Team 1 is because you can permacycle. Every single time you kill the ads in Dark Starlight, you gain 30% AP for Moryama from his R6. Now I'm going to show you Javid. The important thing is for you to get a permacycle going, but Javid is not good enough for permacycle because his AP gain is only 10% whenever you do a true damage. And the true damage that you get is from his Judgment Seal when you attack the boss, and also from E-Leaf. So it's a little bit slow for him to stack up and also gain AP. So he's not getting a lot of turns, he's not gaining a bunch of AP. It's very hard for you to permacycle with Javid, even with his buff. You can get upwards of 300 million score if you do have a level 70 Javid, I think. But with a level 60 Javid, maximum you get like around 270, which is pretty good. But considering that if you run E-Leaf in Team 2, with the same exact team, and instead of running Moryama or Javid, you run Yujing, you would get 300 million plus with that team alone, right? So it's better to run your E-Leaf in Team 2 if you don't have an R6 Moryama. Right, so every single time you do an attack with E-Leaf, she's gonna proc true damage with her R4, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And that's gonna give 10% AP to Javid. And also, whenever you do an attack, if you have Javid's debuff on the boss, that's also gonna proc 2 true damage instants to the 2 ads. But again, the problem is for you to permacycle with Javid. The boss already took 2 turns in 20 turns overall. Javid can do a lot of damage, but again, the problem is you don't get the permacycle. S3, boom, 1.7 million. I think with the level 70 Javid, you can get upwards of like 7 million plus with his S3. He's also not bad in Team 1 of Dark Starlight because he does have additional debuffs, whereas Moryama only has disease debuff that helps with the team. Javid has disease debuff. He also has his own debuff, which can help you with the damage reduction that Dark Starlight gets. If you were to run Moryama, the boss will get a lot of these damage reduction stacks because you don't have enough debuff. Again, he's not totally useless, but it is still better for you to run E-Leaf in Team 2 and run a different Javid Team 1, which I'll show in a bit. Alright, now I'm going to show you a few teams that you can run in Dark Starlight Team 1 with the buff version of Javid. So the core unit is going to be Daji, Yukine, and Maria. They have not fixed the bug with Maria, and they probably won't ever. So you can use Maria in Dark Starlight and still gain the effect of the debuff. And the reason why you want to bring Daji is because she can add true damage to all of your allies with her Funeral Rites buff. So that way you can ramp up your Javid very quickly. And then this spot is going to be flexible. The first team I'm going to show you is going to be the safest version of this team. Javid is going to be on the Calamity set, he does not need any speed. Embla is going to be on the Astral set with a little bit of speed. Daji is also going to be on the Astral set with a little bit of speed and also Fiery set. Now this one is going to be very important because if your Yukine's HP is too high, she can sometimes die. If your Maria cannot keep up with the heals, she ends up killing herself. So you want her HP to be enough so that she can last throughout the fight because she will not get the Snowcloak buff. She won't be doing any damage, so she cannot get the Snowcloak buff for herself. So every time the Blizzard is triggered, she will take damage based off her max HP. So you want her HP to be high but not high enough that she ends up dying. And then your Maria is going to be either on Astral set or Harmony set. You can go both ways, but Astral set will be lower RNG because you want to permacycle with the team, and then you also want to give Light set to give the entire team 10% AP boost. This team is again the safest one, but it is also the lowest scoring one. It can score between 20 million to 32 million. Again, if you guys aren't familiar with the Maria bug, you can land her Hypothermia debuff on the boss and the ads itself. So if you run Maria plus Yukine in the same team, your entire team will be able to land the freeze debuff because R2 Yukine only needs your ally to attempt to freeze, right? They don't even need to freeze in order to gain the Snowcloak buff. And then once they get the Snowcloak buff, you'll be able to get a lot of additional turns whenever 6 turns passes by. And when it comes to this team, Embla gains a bunch of AP, Javid gains a bunch of AP, and also with Daji in your team, every single time your allies do an attack or do damage, they will also proc additional true damage. So that's gonna give Javid 10% AP per enemy. He can gain a bunch of AP, and also with his R6, whenever the Sacred Flame buff on him goes away, he will also gain an additional turn and reset his S3. So this team just perma cycles pretty easily. And also, you don't need to have R6 Daji for this to work. You can run her at R0. She's just pretty much there for the Funeral Rites buff. But obviously, R6 Daji is also going to help because her S3 debuff will be AoE. If she is below R6, then you will not have her debuff on the 2 adds. So it's going to reduce your damage by a bit. About like 3 to 5 million. My Yukine has very low HP because she couldn't get the Snowcloak buff. If you can't get the Snowcloak buff on your allies, they will take damage from the Blizzard. So because she is not attacking, she will not be able to get the Snowcloak buff. And because the enemy is also not moving and not attacking my Yukine, she cannot get the Snowcloak buff from being attacked as well. 1 turn left and Darkstalor only moved once out of 150 turns. Alright, the second team I'm going to show you is a little bit more RNG, but it can score higher than the Embla team by about 10 to 15 million. Now you're going to be running Haley with the Relief set and also Brawler set. Same set on everyone else. Now with this variant, it's a little bit more RNG. It has more RNG, but you can also score higher than the Embla team. The highest I've seen is this team scoring like 46 million, but most of the time you're going to be hovering between 40 to 42 million. But when it comes to this team, even if you get perfect RNG, where you permacycle and the boss gets 0 turns, the boss will still get 3 stacks of his damage reduction because you don't have enough debuff on this team. The boss will force his turn after 150 turns for him to cast the S4. And when he does that, he will add damage reduction stacks to himself based on the number of debuffs that you have, right? And when it comes to this team, you only have 7 debuffs. So it's not enough for you to get 0 stacks of damage reduction. And when it comes to this team, you can squeeze out about 1 to 2 million more damage if you put your Maria on Harmony set, but it's not really worth it because it adds a little bit more RNG. You want to use as many Astral set as you can so you can funnel the Snowcloak buff. You need to meet that 6 turn cycle for you to perma cycle with this team. So using Astral set will help a lot in that regard. Alright, 5 turns left and the boss hasn't even moved once out of 150 turns. Yukine is also dead because of her own Blizzard triggers. But yeah, the boss moved 0 times, but he does gain 3 stacks of damage reduction because you don't have enough debuff. Alright, let me do a few runs with the full team. I'll use the Embla version first, and you'll see the difference between Embla team and also the Haley team. Here's the rest of the relics. For the second team, the Elif team, if you want to have lowest RNG possible, make sure your Elif has higher HP than your Seek, and have your Seek the lowest HP in the team. If you want to gamble with your second team, you can make your Seek slightly higher HP than your Elif, but that's going to take a few more rolls for you to get a good run. Now this team is not going to be using R6 Moryama or R4 Meta Era, but if you do have R6 Moryama, then that version is still the best version of Darkstalor team. But if you don't have R4 Meta Era, then this is going to be the best version of Team 1 that you can run. With the Embla team, you'll hover between 350 million to 460 million score if you get like really good RNG. And as I say that, I get 270 million score. Okay, and there we go, 400 million. It takes a really long time for you to blitz though. It's like 10 to 15 seconds for one blitz. If you do have R4 Meta Era, you can swap out Liam for her, and you can get an additional 10 to 15 million in your Sloan team. Okay, I've been blitzing for like more than 5 minutes at this point and still couldn't replicate a 400 million run. I did it off camera just now, but I don't know, for some reason I couldn't get it this time around. And also I've noticed another bug with Darkstalor. If you get too many turns with your allies, if you proc like too many Astral procs, sometimes it will force Darkstalor to take the turn. I don't know why, even if he has like 0 AP. Okay, that's about it for the Embla team. I couldn't get the 400 million. Now let me just show you the Haley team. With the Haley version, you'll notice more failed runs where you get like below 200 million runs because sometimes you don't get the RNG to perma cycle, and if you don't get the RNG for that, the boss will get a lot of damage reduction stacks. Boom! There we go, 433 million with the Haley team. Didn't really take that long to blitz. Yeah, most of the damage is going to be coming from the second team. And if you do have an R4 Meta Era, you can swap out Liam for Meta Era, and you can get an additional 10 to 20 million more damage in your Team 3. So yeah, that's about it. The buff version of Javid, you can only really use him at R6, and he's still unfortunately not better than R6 Moryama comps. But if you don't have R6 Moryama and if you don't have R4 Meta Era, you can run this team 1 and you can perma-cycle and also get a pretty good score for your team 1. The likelihood of them fixing Maria's bug is very slim, but there is a chance, right? So if you want to use this team, be cautious because they might fix Maria's bug. But for now, the bug is active, so feel free to use it. So is Javid worth maxing out? 100% no. That's about it, ciao.